But going back to my actual thing, too much of the glory days. You can speed that up if you want. You want to do 1.5 times could be kind of funny.
You know what? I'm going to do that.
Yeah, that could be pretty funny.
You called it. I'm going to do it.
That'd actually be really funny. Just
outside the den, inside the barn, Motor City Pride. We've been waiting long. Mic check 1, 2, podcast booth tight. Been breaking down plays every Sunday night. From the den, we step to the bar, we roll. Analyzing film clips, how the story's told. Lions on the
all right, welcome One Pride to episode 5, going into week 5 of this 2025 NFL season of Outside the Den, Inside the Barn, the podcast for Lions fans made by us Lions fans. My name is Jake, once again joined by cousin Lyle, bringing it in at the casino, as well as my big brother Josh over there. Exciting episode for you today. We will have Breaking Brad himself call in later today, as well as we do expect an appearance from my dad Steve and his crazy plays. But before we get started, and before I ask how you guys are all doing, I just want to make a quick reminder early in the video that we are doing a giveaway. We will be giving away one of our, and you can put a picture right up here, Josh, right here, wherever you want to put it.
Yeah, I don't have the whiskey glass.
You're good, yep. We are going to be giving a branded whiskey glass with our logo in black. It's a very nice whiskey glass. Once again, look at the picture below, as well as a couple of pens and whatnot. Once we hit 25 subscribers, and we'll be continuing to give out merch every 25 subscribers. The way to do that, just make sure you subscribe and you comment on the video. Just comment your favorite Lions memory or the reason why you are a Detroit Lions fan. We will not be judging or picking our winner based off of that. We'll be randomizing it. So even if it is just the Lions and Calvin Johnson, won ya Madden tournament or something, you just decided to be a Lions fan, that is fine. Just please drop it below. We will pick one of you. So please subscribe.
And we did pick up 2 subscribers since the last time we announced this, so I don't know if that's connected to that or whatever.
We'll
but
see.
Either way, hey, comment.
Comment, like the video, subscribe. Smash that
YouTube does
like
not
button.
make it easy. Yeah,
Exactly. Call to action.
That's right.
So, going into this episode, first of all, I have to ask you fellas, how you doing today?
I tell you, the excitement, the vibe, everything at Ford Field was just outstanding. You know, we kind of knew that we were going to this game with a win, but they didn't play that great, really. And, listening to 97-1 on the way home, like they said, is, we didn't play the best, maybe B plus, whatever, but we still put up 24 points on them. And doing that in the NFL, that's pretty solid.
You know who didn't put up 24 points on them the week before?
Who's that?
The Green Bay Packers.
What?
The Green Bay Packers put up only 10 points on the Cleveland Browns.
I think if you watched the last episode, we might have said kick them when they're down.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Lyle, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. Got a chance to just chill at home and watch this one while you boys were out there enjoying the atmosphere. But, yeah, to me it was a very, the way that I expressed it, TCB, taking care of business.
Yeah.
Go in there, you're going to go against a team that's going to try to muck it up a little bit. They're going to throw some things at you. They want to try to keep you down, and so that they have that chance maybe at the end to steal one like they did against Green Bay. Lions didn't let them do that, jumped out, pretty much maintained that lead. There was a little bit of a lull there in about the third quarter or so, and it was about 20-10. You didn't know, are they going to let them back into this game? Khalif breaks that punt return, and for all intents and purposes, at that point, it's over.
Yeah, and is that Browns punter cut yet? I mean, he gave zero effort on that tackle.
Yeah, I think I like to give punters and kickers slack on that because
hey,
they're a different breed of player.
Yeah, but we got Jake Bates who's taking on somebody that's twice his size.
See,
Come on.
But he's the master.
Yeah.
He does what he does to win, and that's great.
All grit.
I pass the knowledge down to you. Break it simple, make it true. Every week we build and grow.
So before we continue the episode really quick, Cousin Lyle, I believe you have our term of the week that we're going to do. So,
yeah, just real quick, if we're talking about what's coming up here, sometimes if you're one of those upper echelon teams like the Lions are right now.
And have been the last couple seasons.
Right, yeah. And, you're kind of going into somewhere where it looks like, hey, maybe you're just going to roll the ball out. Everybody's expecting you to win. The point spread on this game is double digits, that kind of a thing. That's when you need to know the phrase trap game.
And Cousin Lyle, what is a trap game?
So a trap game is, exactly what you're thinking about. It's, hey, this looks like it's going to be easy. It's going to be a chance for you to just kind of go out there and maybe give your second best effort, your third best effort, that kind of a thing. And all of a sudden, the next thing you know, that team is competing with the team that they're not supposed to be as good as. See, maybe last week, the Giants against the Chargers would be a good trap game example. Everybody's thinking the Chargers, one of those upper echelon teams, but hey, you're traveling to the East Coast. You're facing a guy, a new quarterback that's giving them some new juice, that kind of a thing. The next thing you know, it's a dogfight, and in the end, you lose. That's a trap game exactly like there. And for this week, I couldn't think of a better example of a trap game, unfortunately, but I think that the Lions are beyond this than that Lions versus Bengals game that we're going to talk about later on.
Yeah, and we'll definitely get into the spread as well as some of the storylines going into this game. But I do think that it exemplifies it. I believe in our score predictions. I had the Cleveland Browns as our trap game because they had an experienced quarterback in Flacco who's won the big game. He has. So I believe it's 2012. As well as my favorite defensive player in the league, not named Aiden Hutchinson or Brian Branch, in Myles Garrett, who is arguably the best defensive end in football. Maybe not so after this week, but going into the season, I would have expected the Cleveland Browns game to be a trap game.
Montgomery running through defensive wall. St. Brown catching every single call.
All right, so we are here recording on a Wednesday, October 1st. Happy early Halloween, everybody.
Spooky season.
Spooky season. And, right now, the Lions not feeling as spooky right now. This past Sunday at 1 o'clock, game kicked off against the Cleveland Browns at home in Ford Field. Detroit Lions 34-10. A score you would be not shocked to see. But yeah, so before we talk about it, we're going to talk about that game now. So I have some things I want to say, but as normal, I'll let you guys talk. So Cousin Lyle, we'll start with you today. What was your big takeaway from the game?
Yeah, the biggest takeaway that I had from this is just that it's a situation where, the Lions, usually at home especially, they're, everything is humming with their offense and they're able to do what they want and they're able to kind of keep control. It wasn't really that kind of a game to me. It was a game where, again, the Browns had a chance to come out. They got an early lead in that game. The defense, you could tell they were, the defensive line definitely talented, getting through our offense, usually speeding things up, that kind of a thing. And, so it wasn't going to be a game where it was just going to be the Lions methodically moving down the field. It wasn't like Baltimore where we had 96 and 98-yard drives, that kind of a thing. But what it was that complimentary game that Dan Campbell's always talking about. It was, the defense, after having allowed a first drive touchdown for the fourth straight game this year.
Yep.
Which is
not a good streak to have. But.
No, we want to break that streak this week. Getting settled in and really starting to constrict that pocket and make Flacco throw some of those passes that were intercepted, some of the things that went wrong for him. I think he started off 6 for 6 or something like that, and then went 10 for 28 the rest of the game or something like that, which is just brutal. And it was the special teams, again, getting a chance. Like we had talked about, the kicker for the punter for the Browns didn't have a very good game. He shanked a couple of them, and then the one that he kicked that came up a little bit short, Khalif just had to make that one guy miss and off to the races, zooming by everybody and really locking down the game once and for all. So I think it was just a great game to see that, hey, it's the Lions. They don't have to just win with offense. They can do it in a number of different ways, and that's the mark, I think, of a great team, is taking care of business, like I said at the beginning of the episode, doing what needed to be done on defense and special teams and not putting it all on the offense to make this game a victory.
Yeah. So, Josh, you and I were both at the game.
Yep.
What were your takeaway, from...
Well, first off, Hutch, don't give us another heart attack. I mean, when I'm watching that, I'm pointing, that's Hutch down. Why is he down? You seen all the social media posts where he's, the fans, whatever. But the other one was the JMO and JG connection. That was off. I did like hearing from, Dan talking about Oh, they didn't have the walkthrough that they wanted, so that might explain some of that. So they learned something, so that's good. And apparently, these last couple of days, JMO was on point, so he's maturing, which is great. Didn't get my Waymo burger like I want, but oh well. And then again, the atmosphere was pretty crazy. Everybody knew pretty much that the Lions were going to win. That first drive for both teams kind of made us a little worried, but we kind of brought it around. I'm still trying to figure out that DJ Reed pick. Was it pass interference?
I'd have to look at the replay to verify that.
Watching it live, I thought it was. I mean, congrats for him getting it, but at the same time, I'm like, are we starting to get the calls that we've notoriously said, what the heck?
It's very possible.
So, I mean, that's kind of one of the takeaways that kind of left me a little befuddled. So, other than that, the food takeaway. We tried the Coney flight the first time, survived it, didn't have any problems. We did the breadless one this time. Both you and I did the jerk chicken with a avocado. Or no, mango.
Mango, yep.
Yeah. Bit messy, but good. Worked fine for me, not quite so for you.
I'll talk about that with my takeaways, so don't worry.
And we got Dad joining us on the walk.
I'm getting the work in before his segment, yeah.
Yep. So, but yeah, I mean, those are the few things. Like I said, great atmosphere. It felt a little off that day for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But in the end, a victory is a victory.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So my entire game day experience was slightly ruined. I love jerk chicken. I love spicy food. There was just something about it. Maybe I got a bad batch or something. Star Wars reference right there. But
Tyler, I'll have to point that one out to Tyler.
Right. You're like going, shout out Tyler Warren, not the tight end, but the super cool kid. 20 minutes down the road. But yeah, so my stomach was pretty upset. So maybe that was the vibe. You felt the vibe of me. I wasn't standing up too much. It was just more like, because I don't like getting up in the middle of a game. Our section unfortunately has a lot of people move in and out, which is really irritating. I'm just sitting there saying, please just watch the game. How many beers do you have to get? How many Little Caesars pizza slices for $20 do you have to buy? Just sit and watch the football game.
Yeah, I mean, the game costs them what, $200 maybe per seat, and then another $500 just for food.
It's crazy, yeah.
The NFL sells food. That's their whole
right.
thing now, right?
That's
who cares about the game?
That's
as long
the
as
real money maker, baby.
Concessions money.
But yeah, so I did miss both of Aiden Hutchinson's sacks. So not to lead too much into a future segment here, but I missed both of his sacks. I missed a couple big plays. I missed St. Brown's, I believe, his touchdown. That's how long I was waiting in line for the restroom the second time. But yeah, so my big takeaway is that the Lions did not look their best, right? They looked better against Baltimore, and they still let up 30 points. However, they took care of business, as you said, Lyle. Defense played, I would say, very well in that game. They bent a little bit at the start, but they definitely didn't break after that. And I was on a phone call with my buddy TJ. Shout out TJ if you're watching. And he asked me a lot generally whenever something bad happens if he watches the Lions game, because he's a Patriots fan, so he generally watches the Patriots if they play at the same time. Who they had a big victory, most points scored since like 2016 or something like that this past weekend. He asked me if I was worried about Jameson Williams and all the drops he had.
It was just two. I mean,
I think he was targeted 8 times.
Yeah, but two drops where it was in his hands. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, Jared Goff talked about it, he was asked about it in the post-game presser. And, the big thing for me is everybody has an off day.
Yeah.
And outside of, I forget there was one game J-Mo had like very little to no targets.
The previous game.
Yeah. So, I'm not too worried about everyone has a bad day, everyone has an off day. Regardless though, I mean, he was still burning defenders, and I really liked that Goff kept trying to throw to him.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't always the best decision because some of those throws, including the interception, were pretty off the target. But that is a connection that's really important to have, and J-Mo is an important player to have going into the I mean, we're still in the early part of the season, but towards the middle part of the season is just to make sure you have the two dynamic weapons there. Other than that, though, I can't really complain too much about what I saw. A little disappointed. I'm a big David Montgomery fan, seeing him kind of stuffed. Yeah. But, I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs took a while to get going, too. So
yeah, it's a tough defense, and especially if you're going to be more of a between-the-tackles runner. I mean, I think
we saw what happened to Derrick Henry. He had 23 yards against them 2 weeks ago. So
they're able to clog up that middle. That defensive line is very talented, and that's what they want to do. They know that they want to take away the run and make you throw, against a pretty talented secondary as well. So
yeah. So I mean, it was a tough matchup for the offense in general, especially when once again. Oops, sorry. You're good. Especially when you consider that they held Green Bay to 10. Green Bay dropped 31-34 on us.
Dropped 40 on the Cowboys.
Dropped 40 on the Cowboys. You think about it, where we still have a newer offensive coordinator. We still have a new interior of the offensive line. But once again, not letting up a sack to Myles Garrett and that defense, that's a huge plus. Yeah. St. Brown having a good game, huge plus.
Perfect game,
huge plus. You had Laporta making clutch catches, huge plus. You still had a pretty efficient Jared Goff in that game outside of some of those errant throws to Jamison Williams. You had Gibbs, contributing both the receiving and rushing game, really caught fire at the end of the game. But the biggest thing is we're seeing this, I think, quite a bit, is that the Lions are becoming a second-half team, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. They need to play 4 quarters of football, but the fact that the Lions can help just completely put away a game in the second half, they can try and catch back when they're down in the second half. We saw that a little bit last year. The third, I think it was third quarter we were really bad in the third quarter last year.
Oh, that was the third quarter. That was
third quarter.
That was a thing for a couple of years for sure.
Yeah, but once again, they really come alive. They've been they always, for the last couple of years, they come alive in the fourth. But the fact that after halftime they can turn around and cause a turnover, go score off of that. And, Goff's numbers didn't really pop off the charts. Neither did St. Brown. Neither did Gibbs. But the defense let us start in really good field position. Some of those shank punts really started us in good field position. Khalif Raymond opening up the game, or opening up the floodgates with that return touchdown. I think just once again, it was a good game. I don't have too many complaints other than the unfortunate injuries that happened. DJ Reed's going to be out 4 to 5 weeks, which is rough. Terry and Arnold got banged up pretty good. I think Joseph also on Reed's interception also got kind of hurt.
Yeah, but he's out. He was out in practice today.
He was out in practice, so they're going to be nursing him because he did come back in the game and play the rest of the game. So there's going to be some concerns when we get into the upcoming discussion with the upcoming discussion later in the episode about the Bengals game. But overall, I'm generally happy with the victory. It wasn't the prettiest victory. I'm not as excited about it, not because I was bummed that we lost, but more just like it didn't feel as good of a win as against the Ravens. But then again, the Ravens, no matter what the records say, the Ravens are still not – they're a team to be happy to get a win over. No matter how they're performing this year is Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. Some of those players on that defense are nuts. We didn't see them and because some of them are hurt. But it is a good win to get over a good coach and generally one of the best teams from the last couple of years.
Yeah, I don't really don't like these, trying to discount that win now just because then they went out to Kansas City and didn't have a very good performance after that. But again, this was something you saw last year a lot, right? Remember the Honolulu flu? They would beat up on those teams, and those teams would get in. I mean, it was Baltimore coming off of a Monday night, having to travel to Kansas City. I picked the Chiefs in that game because I figured there was going to be some letdown and some difficulties for Baltimore. Yeah. But I think just to be like, oh, well, Baltimore's terrible this year, so therefore the Lions haven't beat anybody, I think that's a terrible take. I think anybody should say you go into Baltimore, you win in a night game. That's one of the best wins of the year, no matter what.
And on top of that, think about what the Lions were able to do with guys off the street. Playing defense last year. They won 15 games, won the 1 seed.
Yep. All right. One thing that was absolutely hilarious is the people that were behind us were Browns fans. And every time, the first drive, they were talking smack.
Oh, yeah.
Did not hear shit from them for the rest of the game. You know why? They left.
Yeah.
Other than complaining about Flacco, he's too old and all that stuff. they took off. You didn't hear them again. So it's like,
wow.
Yeah.
Come all the way to Detroit just to leave
After the first
first drive.
Yeah.
That was brutal.
Don't take me away, pull me out of this funk. Wanna see the real spinning, hit us pulling to the clock. Put your money where your mouth is, talking all of that junk. So tell me now, are you feeling lucky, boy?
All right, now it's one of my favorite times of the episode. We have Cousin Lyle's Casino raking it in. Play that track. Yeah, Cousin Lyle's Casino.
Let's go.
All right, we don't have Breaking Brad on the phone right now to review his answers.
And he's not calling in. He's busy.
And he's not calling in. So, unfortunately, no Breaking Brad segment today. So
stay tuned still,
That's
though.
broke Brad.
yeah, broke Brad. All right, Cousin Lyle, kick it off.
Yeah, so here we are back in the casino. Quick recap from last week.
Love you, Brad.
We've got the games, and it did have Brad's picks in here, so I'm going to put that on there. Last week we had, in first question, Jared Goff, a.k.a. Vanilla Vic, over or under 2.5 rush yards in the Cleveland game. Does anybody know how that went for him?
I thought he got a scramble.
No.
I looked and looked, and I'm like, he didn't get any yards?
No, 0 attempts, 0 yards. So under takes it, which means that all three of these boys on the panel, we all took over. We were expecting Vanilla Vic to get loose. He did not. Brad is the only one that took the under on that one, so he got that one correct. Number 2, will Sonic and Knuckles both score a touchdown in this game? Sonic got his real early. First touchdown.
Help
of the
win
game.
me some money.
There was a drive where I swear they were setting it up for Knuckles to do it, and
Just never happened.
never happened. And that was like the one that I remembered, and I'm like, come on. Dang it.
So Demo did not get into the end zone, so that was a no. They did not have a Sonic and Knuckles combo in this game. Jacob and Lyle, we both took a no on that one, so we were correct on that one. Josh and Brad had yes for that. So, Josh, you're 0 for 2 so far.
This was
the
not
wins
a
are
good
going
week.
down.
I'm not playing on house money anymore. I'm even.
Number 3, pick a number. Jack Campbell tackles in this game. We all had we all had it way under. Jack had a heck of a game, and I mean we really should highlight that. It was a tremendous game. I thought from Jack.
11 total.
11 total tackles, 7 solos, 4 assisted there. So if you wanted to say each one was a half, it would still be 9, which is still higher than any of us took. Brad was the closest at 8. I had 7. Josh, you had 6.5. Jacob, you had 5. So less than half on that one.
Yep.
But great game, Jack Campbell. Not even worried about all the scratches in the face.
Yeah.
And then number 4, speaking of tacklers, Jake Bates, over or under 1.5 made field goals in the game. Jake did kick 2 field goals. He was 2 for 2 on the day. He had
I didn't
that
kick
58.
any field goals.
Jake Bates, the master, had 2 field goals, including that 58-yarder. It's in, it's out, it's back in again.
What a curveball.
Man, yeah, I saw a couple jokes, maybe over the heads of these fellas, but all my Avatar: The Last Airbender fans out there, man, Jake really airbended that one in, huh? It'll hit a couple
like
of you.
Beckham.
Yeah, I do enjoy me some world football. So
it was over. So that he had more than 1.5, so it was over, which means that Jacob, me, and Brad all had the over. Josh, you had the under. So you were 0 for 4 on the.
I know.
weekend.
I think on the season I'm what you might call even, Steven.
Yeah, if you're even, you're leaving. So a rough. I would say the house was the winner in this one. We had,
for sure.
Jake 1 for 4. Josh, you went 0 for 4. I went 2 for 4, and Brad went 2 for 4 on that one. So at best, we were breaking even with the house on that one. So that's last week. Let's go into week number 5 here, fellas. And to start off here, we're going to talk about a couple of the best receiving duos in the league. The question number 1, who's going to have more total yards receiving? Jamar Chase and T. Higgins combined together, or Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams combined together? Now, again, these are 2 of the top receiver duos in the NFL. So far in 2025, Jamar Chase has 264 yards, T. Higgins 136, Amon-Ra has 307.
Hell yeah.
JMO 214. So a decided advantage so far this year for the St. Brown and JMO boys. But there are factors that could play into your decision this week, including The difference in the quarterbacks, one of them's got an all-pro level quarterback. The other one's got a backup, but there are also some injuries in the Lions secondary to keep in mind here.
Yeah.
So more total yards receiving combined, Chase and Higgins or St. Brown and Williams. Jacob, what do you think?
I expect the Lions to run the ball a lot this game, try and control pace of the game, especially with those injuries in the secondary. And because of those injuries in the secondary, and also trying to run the ball on a pretty abysmal defense, I am going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals duo of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins to have more receiving yards.
All right, so bucking the trend just a little bit so far on the year, but
and
those
also,
are two great
I'm wrong a lot.
receivers.
I'd love to hear that I'm wrong.
Josh, what do you think?
I'm going with the homeboys.
All right.
I think that this is a perfect game to reestablish the JMO-JG connection. Amon-Ra, that again, perfect game. So I think they might throw out a few just to build that confidence level back, and go into an opponent's house and pretty much demoralize them. Why not?
Okay, good points by everybody. I am also going to go with Amon-Ra and Waymo. I do think that while the injuries on the Lions secondary are concerning, and that I think that the Bengals are going to have to pass a little bit more trying to keep up with a balanced attack on the Lions side, that Bengals defense still is not where it really should be. And I do think that the fact that you've got Jared Goff throwing to these guys on one side is going to be such a decided advantage over Jake Browning for the other side there. So I'm going to go with St. Brown and JMO. So we've got.
I hope you guys are right, though.
We got Jake on the island on that one. The next question: more sacks and tackles combined in this game, Aiden Hutchinson or Trey Hendrickson? So do you know who led the league in sacks 6 games into 2024?
That would have been Aiden Hutchinson.
Aiden Hutchinson, he had 7.5, and that's what he ended up with for the year. But he had 7.5.
It's almost like he had a season-ending injury or something.
Something like that. Do you know who led the league in sacks at the end of 2024?
Trey Hendrickson.
Trey Hendrickson, 17.5 sacks, second year in a row where he had 17.5 sacks at the end of the year. So he is a very quality defensive end. So far in 2025 here, you've got Hutch with 8 tackles with 4 sacks. Trey, 11 tackles, 2 sacks. So very even on those scores there. We're going to start with Josh this time. Who's going to have more sacks plus tackles in this game, Aiden or Trey?
I want to go for Aiden, but I'm going to say Trey, and the reason why I'm going to say that is because AQM was very quiet last game.
Very quiet.
And
but apparently his PFF grade was really good.
Yeah.
Take that for what it is.
Yeah. So him being quiet, I think they're going to run to his side more. As much as I think Hutch is going to get in the backfield and take him down, I don't want to go against the home guys, but in this case I'm going to have to.
All right, so we got Trey Hendrickson coming from Josh. Jake, what do you got?
Only tackles, too, no sacks.
It all counts.
Yep. Like I said, I think the Lions are going to try and control this game quite a bit, so I do expect the Bengals defense to be out there quite a bit. Spoilers, I do think the Lions are going to win this game. I do think Hendrickson is going to have more opportunities, so I'm going to go with him. Point of concern, he did exit the game in the second quarter this past weekend. I think it was Monday night, actually. Sorry, NFL fans, you had to watch that game Monday night. But, so I think Hendrickson will, assuming he's healthy. Obviously, Hutchinson had an issue, but it sounded like he just got the wind knocked out of him. But Hendrickson.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with Hutch so that we can get some Lions love on that line there. Yeah. But I do think...
Who loves the Lions here? Come on.
I do think that Hutch is playing at a very high level. He could have had a couple of other sacks in this game from last week if it wouldn't have been for some penalties that happened there. I guess the question is going to be how much attention is he going to draw here. But I do think that Hutchinson is his arrow is pointing up here. Question is going to be for Trey Hendrickson. How much effort is he given in a contract year? Last year with the Bengals, kind of a little bit disgruntled. I wonder. He's a professional, but I just wonder if he's going to be playing out the string here after a while if the Bengals don't turn it around. Okay, so we've got Trey Hutch on that line.
Oh, can I make one comment on that before we move on?
Yeah.
I saw a great tweet today where it was a rep. Pat O'Connor came in as the opposite defensive end. I don't know if you guys saw this on Twitter.
I think I did.
But, how abysmal is the Browns' game plan when they double team the wrong white guy? I don't know if you saw that.
See that.
Yeah, so.
They literally motioned the guy over to the other side of the line.
Yeah.
And Hutch just is probably sitting there going, what? Okay.
Well, hey, credit to Jim Schwartz, right?
Yeah. showing some Lions love in his return.
Yeah.
Right. Well, he's not the offensive line coach.
Right,
so.
right.
Well, I know, but
called.
just
Yeah.
All right, number 3, Cincinnati over or under 1.5 touchdowns in this game. Now, Cincinnati scored 2 tutties in game 1 against the Browns. That was with Joe Burrow at quarterback, though.
Yep.
They did have 4 in week 2 against the Jags when they won, and Jake Browning was actually responsible for 3 out of the 4 in that game.
Yep.
But since then, 1 touchdown in week 3 against the Vikings, 0 week 4 against the Broncos. We also know that Jamar Chase has been showing some pretty visible frustration on the sidelines about the way that the offense is running. And the Lions' defense has been pretty stingy once you get past, like we talked about, that first drive touchdown issue that they've got there. So Cincinnati's had some trouble scoring in these last few games. The question is going to be, is Cincinnati going to get over or under 1.5 touchdowns in this game? Jacob, what do you think?
Yeah, so I'm gonna take the over. I think 2 is the correct number. If we follow the trend of the Lions letting up a touchdown on the first drive, I do think that that's 1 touchdown of, let's say, guaranteed touchdown. Jamar Chase just has to find a way to outduel either an injured Terrion Arnold or Rock Ya-Sin to really get another one, because Jamar Chase is a top 2 receiver in football in my opinion. But yeah, I'm gonna say I like the number 2, so I'm gonna say over.
All right. Josh, do you agree?
I do not, and the reason why is I think that first drive touchdown chip on the shoulder thing, they're going to shut that down. This will be the first game they don't have that, and I think they're going to be, they're just looking at the overall comparison between the two teams. I think our defense is going to come strong.
All right, sounds good. I'm going to go over. I do agree with you, Jacob. I think that 2 is the number in this game, just because of some of the talent that's on that offense, and maybe it's a garbage time touchdown.
I was just going to say that. Is that what we're going to go with?
Yeah,
garbage
something
time
like
touchdown?
that. It could be.
Ding.
Yeah, but I feel like they are going to get at least 2 touchdowns in this game. Probably, I'm going to say it is 2 touchdowns in this game, and we'll get to those predictions later on. So we've got Jacob and Lyle with the over. Josh, you're sitting at the under on this one. Last question here. Mad season so far this year, as far as defenses and special teams and plays this year. So the question is going to be, is this game going to feature either a defensive or a special team score, a defensive safety, or some measure of a blocked punt or kick in this game? It can be either side. Is this game going to feature one of those defensive
open,
special teams things?
You left this so open.
You got to see. I mean, it's happening all over the league right now. The highlights aplenty for blocked kicks, especially. We did have, of course, Khalif taking one to the house last week. And there have been 3. He's had 3 punt return touchdowns since joining the Lions. Yep. And then in week 3 against the Vikings, the Bengals gave up an interception for a touchdown and a fumble return tutty in that game. So what do you think, Josh? Is there going to be some sort of a defensive or special teams kind of a highlight games changing score or play?
Yes. I'm going to go with either Branch or Rock Ya-Sin.
That'd be crazy.
One of those 2.
First start. I'm assuming he starts. First start. That'd be awesome.
Yep.
All right, Jacob, do you agree?
I'm going to say.
Hold on. Let me throw a Meek in there too.
Yeah,
so one of those 3. One of those 3.
I would love to. He's probably the guy I want to see score a touchdown more than anybody on that defense. Besides Brian Branch, because Brian Branch is just my favorite.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, that's where the Browns fans actually like. He's such a bullet.
He is such a bullet. I mean, I not to derail it too much, but just that one. Head, helmet to helmet contact against Jordan Love, or Caleb, I forget. I think it was Jordan Love, where he just the close up where he just flies out of nowhere. It's so funny. Like just that in slow motion is so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm going to say, see, you just added so much there that it makes me want to say yes. I do like the idea of a pick six. I do. Even like a tip ball like on their 10-yard line to like Tyleek or something. I'm going to say yes.
All right.
I don't think anything is going to get blocked. I will say that. I think it has been a mad season. Yeah. I do like a safety. I love the idea of a safety, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna put our yes on the. We're gonna put it all on the line there. We're putting up the graphic.
Yep.
I'm gonna say yes as well. I think there's so many things these days that can happen. Game-changing plays on the defense and special teams is not just all about the offense. So whether it's a punt return, whether it's an interception, pick six, something like that, I do see that happening in this game. So look for that. See if that happens.
And for ESPN, we just jinxed ourselves.
We did. There's going to be normal, boring rushing and receiving touchdowns.
Yeah.
Oh, too bad. So that's the casino for this week. Good luck, fellas, and may Lady Luck follow you.
Yeah, Lyle's Casino. Woo! Let's win some money, boys.
Playoff bound now, divisional crown. Been covering this team all around the town. Ford Field.
All right, so we got a well, I don't want to say big game, but we do have a game, 4:00 game this week in Cincinnati. We will not be in Cincinnati. We will be here at the barn instead.
Watch party, spooky season. We're ready to roll.
Yep. So before we get into the actual game preview, do you want to give them a heads up of what they'll probably see in clips next week?
Yeah, well, I mean, part of it is we're thinking before the game we might try to make some apple cider. We might try to pick some. Our pumpkin patch is not huge yet, but we might have some little baby pumpkins. I don't know if we'll paint them or not. That's up to Janine, friend of the show, the wife. And we're going to do rice bowls with teriyaki chicken and teriyaki steak with all the fixings and stuff like that. We're going to have Leroy back.
Hell yeah.
He's all excited about it.
Mark this calendar.
That's right.
Let's go.
And I'm trying to think of anything else. We might try to do a live stream. I don't know. If the NFL will let us.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we'll have a watch party. I think it'd be bigger than the last one, hopefully. And just enjoy the game and enjoy a dub.
Yeah, I like that. But yeah, so we're going to now discuss this upcoming game. So yeah, so 4:25 kickoff on Sunday, October 5th. We're recording this the Wednesday before the game. And the Lions are going to open up as a 10.5-point favorite. Lyle mentioned it earlier. In betting or just generally how you can read that is that they expect the Lions to kick some ass. It is not the biggest point spread we've seen. I think the Bills a week or two ago were like a 14.5.
You can't say kick ass on the show.
No.
You have one leg.
Sorry, kick grass. My bad.
No. You have one leg and
3 toes, 3 ass.
Yeah. Still kick your ass. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. That's how you got to qualify that.
Fair enough.
1 ass cheek and 3 toes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick your ass.
Come on, man. But yeah, so the Lions open up a pretty big favorite. Their money line is minus 520, which is considerable odds. You bet $10 on that, you ain't getting almost anything. No. Bengals open up as their money line is plus 400, so quadruple your money is pretty nice. And then the total line of points, so total points scored in the game, the line is set at 48.5. The Lions themselves have gotten over that once this season, significantly under that the previous or in week 1, and then not too far off. So they do expect a handful of points to be scored this game, and based off of the rest of it, it seems like they're expecting the Lions to be the one to drop the majority of those points, which based off of the offense that the Bengals have shown the last couple of weeks, it makes a lot of sense. Lions have some pretty significant injuries going into this game, specifically into our defensive back room, and which is a cause of concern because of the talent in that Bengals wide receiver room, as well as, Mike Gesicki being a solid tight end. Not great, but he's solid. And Browning did throw for account for 3 touchdowns when Burrow came down and got hurt in week 2. So, but yeah, as normal, we're going to talk about the matchups of the game, and we're going to go one by one, talk about a matchup that we feel we want to highlight. However, I believe, Josh, you said you wanted to make a note of special someone potentially returning to practice this week.
Yes, Ollie McNeil, Mac, Return of the Mac,
Mac.
Playing the song during practice. He's on his 21-day return. He's not
evaluation period.
Probably not. I did like what Campbell said, even though he's probably not coming back this week. He's ready to go, and he feels sorry for whoever's going to be against him. So
I've also heard Lyle perform Return of the Mac at karaoke before.
Oh.
Yeah, he has.
Sometimes you got to throw it down for Mark Morrison.
Maybe we need to have karaoke during the show.
We can't do that. But so I mean, huge addition to this team with Davenport being out. Ali McNeil is by far the best pass rusher on this team, besides the emergence of AQM 2 weeks ago, as well as obviously Hutchinson looking to get into Defensive Player of the Year form as well. So we won't see him this week. Probably won't see him for at least a couple of games. But hopefully we'll have him after the bye, which will be probably when we need him the most, really, as we get into that really tough stretch of games we have shortly after the bye week. So Lyle, we'll start with you this week. What's a matchup that you want to highlight going into this game?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the obvious one here. Yeah. It's going to be the Twin Towers of the Cincinnati Bengals, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, going up against a depleted secondary, especially on the outside corners for the Lions. So I think that's going to be a huge thing. Again, there's going to be hopefully a lot of pressure on Jake Browning that's going to be coming there, and it's going to make it difficult there. But if he gets time, I do think that these are two receivers that can really cause some damage if you let them run loose out there. And I don't know if it is going to be Terrion, how he's going to be doing. He had I think it's a shoulder right now that he's dealing with, right?
We saw him try and play through a groin injury and how that hampered him.
So you got that. So you either got that or you're going to have a backup going up against him, whether it's Amika, who's, I love his fight, but, he's a little bit of a shorter guy going up against 6'3" and 6'3" on the outsides there. Or you've got Rockison, who's really kind of almost transition to more of a safety type at this point, so you don't know if he's going to have the speed to keep up with them. So that's going to be really the thing that I'm going to be looking out for, and I'm going to be worried about early on in the game, especially the way that they seem to start these games. Are we going to be able to shut down that duo? They haven't had a great year so far this year, but you know that they're going to be game planning, they're going to be scheming. Jamar is demanding that ball. He's being the leader that he needs to be for that offense. So they're going to be forcing the ball to those guys. And are the Lions going to be up to the challenge? Are they going to be able to shut that down and make it so that this doesn't become a track meet where, all of a sudden you've got to worry about them getting hot and scoring some points and keeping up with the Lions?
Yeah. Josh, how about you?
Well, I mean, the whole 3 touchdowns, after Burrow, I think a lot of that had to do with just not knowing who the guy was.
Yeah.
Now that there's film out there, they know who they are, so they're schemed properly. So I think, when you have the defensive line, edge rushers, all that, I think that's going to be the big one. They're going to get to them. They're going to just, I don't know, maybe we see Shedeur?
Shedeur plays for the Browns.
Oh, sorry.
And Dylan Gabriel, as I believe, listed as a starter going into this week. So Shedeur ain't.
I don't even. I wouldn't even know who the backup for the Cincinnati is at this point.
I forgot. We're already week. Sorry.
Yeah, there's only a handful of backups I can name, and I cannot.
It's not the Bengals one because
you guys okay with me cutting that?
No, that's saying it. Dunking on him.
I know.
Hell yeah.
I know. I don't know why, but that entered in my head. But yeah, I think we might see the third string.
Yeah.
Even if it's not Shedeur, maybe they trade for him midweek.
It's possible, yeah.
That was bad.
They've been. Were they calling for? Hey, what if Cincinnati calls for Kirk Cousins? Well, what about bringing in Captain Kirk for that game? But I don't know who their backup would be at this point. That.
Yeah, Josh kind of stole mine, and I just want to kind of jump on that back before I go to mine.
You're going to talk about Shedeur as well?
No. Yeah, I know, right? So that trade, that incoming trade, but no, I think specifically, I expect the Lions to blitz a ton and rush as much as possible. Chase Brown is not a bad running back, but he has underperformed significantly. They don't give a lot of protection to Browning. They barely gave protection to Burrow, but Burrow is just a different animal in himself. there is an argument he is the best quarterback in the National Football League, but there's a lot of he's injured right now, turf toe. One of the funniest sounding injuries, also one of the most brutal to come back from.
It's almost in comparison with Nintendo Thumb.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I think that they're going to blitz a lot because I think they just need to provide as much support to that defensive back room as possible. I honestly wouldn't mind seeing Brian Branch actually move out there and take reps at corner just because I think he is able to. Yeah. And glory days. In my high school, you got to work on that. I have to mention at least once
during the bye week.
Yeah. So in my senior year of high school, there were, I would say, 4 good linemen on the offensive line. We had kind of one middling guy, but
don't say his name.
I'm not going to. That's fine. There's 2 people I'm referring to that none of them watch.
They know who he is.
Yeah, they might. I had a couple of the other 2 that I would say are really good. They would know who. But essentially, I started on and off at different games. I generally started at offensive guard, took most of my reps at offensive guard. However, to start the season, the best player I ever played with, who was our starting left tackle, got hurt in the summertime, so we didn't know if he'd be able to be there week 1. So I actually played left tackle to start the season. I was also, even though I did not take any tackle reps, I was our de facto left tackle if our left tackle actually couldn't play. Going into the playoffs, our district final game, which we ended up losing, underclassman got rolled over his knee, and there was a concern that he wouldn't play, and the coach did tell me, he's like, hey, you can play tackle, right? And I'm like, yeah, coach, I haven't played it since week 1, but yeah, I can. He's like, I'm not letting these other guys play it. I will need you to play it. So, and the point I make is that Brian Branch is one of the most talented players on this defense, and there is an argument that you just have the best player possible out there, and if one of these 5th, 4th, 5th string, 6th string corners can't do it, just put Brian Branch at corner, move an established backup safety into that starting safety role. It's the whole point of that. But going back to my actual thing, too much of the glory days, you can speed that up if you want. You want to do 1.5 times, could be kind of funny.
You know what? I'm going to do that.
Yeah, that could be pretty funny.
You called it. I'm going to do it.
That'd actually be really funny. But so I think they're going to blitz a lot. The matchup that I'm, once again, kind of concerned about, and we saw a decent performance out of Taylor Decker, is Taylor Decker against Trey Hendrickson. The Bengals defense isn't that good, but Trey Hendrickson is very good. He's not as good as Myles Garrett. I am comfortably in saying that, even though Trey Hendrickson led the league in sacks last year. I think, personally, that Decker has to have a good game. We didn't see Garrett on Sewell that much, and I think that was the correct scheme play for the Browns to make. I think Sewell can really shut down everybody. He can lose reps, but once again, Sewell is one of the premier tackles in football. Decker is a very good tackle, but there is a pretty good argument that Trey Hendrickson is a better player than Decker and has the advantage on paper over him. So Decker is going to have to hold Hendrickson down because he is the brightest spot of that defense. So that is the matchup that I am most going to be zeroed in, besides obviously seeing if our corners can keep up with the Twin Towers of Cincinnati.
Yeah, so. And think about this for Decker, man. He's really faced a murderer's row to start the year, hasn't he? I mean, you got Micah.
Yeah.
I mean, Montez Sweat is the weakest of the bunch that
he's still
so
pretty
far.
He's
still pretty darn good.
He's still pretty darn good.
And then, I mean, you go up against I guess Baltimore didn't have.
They got some young guys who have high ceilings.
But then you get Myles Garrett, and now you get Trey Hendrickson. That's rough.
It's brutal, man. Yeah. It is absolutely brutal. And then you're gonna have to deal with Chris Jones and Carl Aftis in a week.
Shout out to Dak, man. You're a pro, man.
Yeah, no, we love you, Dak. Even though I won't say that.
And at some point, let's get nostalgic. I feel like we need to check in with how is Ragnow doing.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's been on a nonstop fishing and hunting.
Yeah,
just
his wife probably hasn't seen him in 3 months.
Comes in, he's got the grizzly man beard.
He's got to enjoy the couple days left of warm weather that Minnesota gets, man.
Right.
So, but yeah. So those are our matchups. Obviously, there's a lot more we could talk about, but most people, watching this have already seen, the game previews and whatnot. And once again, talk about game previews. I'm sure you're leaning into that, Josh.
Well, actually, one other thing that I want to talk about for a matchup: Amon-Ra versus NBA 2K.
Yeah.
At 4 a.m.
4 a.m.
Hey, allegedly. I haven't watched the St. Brothers podcast.
Can't confirm or deny it.
I know EQ is laying into him pretty heavy in the episode, but
you come off of a victory, just lay off these guys. Come on.
Yeah. Well, it seems like St. Brown's leaning into the joke because it may or may not be him.
Yeah.
I mean, my people, it's very common for people to say, I used to play FIFA a lot, and people would always name themselves Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi, or my friend said his gamer tag was might be Messi. And, so it's stuff like that. My idea, by the way.
If he can deliver another, 7 for 7 and how many yards, how many touchdowns?
2 tutties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay up till 6. I don't care.
I have no qualms whatsoever.
Yeah,
about
whatever
St. Brown
works
does.
best for you. I mean, Marshawn Lynch would, eat Skittles on the sideline. You know, other Lawrence Taylor used to do a lot of things before games. So, I don't know if that's allegedly or that's confirmed, but Lawrence Taylor used to do a lot. He's the best ever.
I have not seen the police report.
The 80s and the 90s had a lot of extracurricular activities.
A lot of extracurricular activities. Honestly, Lawrence Taylor's highlights are awesome. But we're not talking about
if he's in his apartment playing video games, then he's
there's worse things that could be happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
So shush.
Jake's voice fills my head. Said this guy's the governor.
All right, so now we're going to probably my least favorite section of the episode, which is Jake's.
It was your favorite last week. Come on.
Lock of the game. So,
you were half right.
I was half right, so we can put a half a point down there. And if I didn't get overzealous and make it a parlay, I'd be celebrating. Yeah. Last lock of the game, Lyle, if you want to throw it out for the group, because I know you've written down there.
Yeah, you had a couple of Lions getting a 2-sack day. You had Aiden Hutchinson, absolutely correct on that one. And then, but you did, I'll throw the Aquaman in there, Al-Qadim Muhammad, who, like we had said earlier, had a pretty quiet day.
Yeah.
As far as the stat sheet goes.
He did his job, but no sacks.
Yep.
And, yeah, I mean, once again, I think Anzalone's the only one who got a sack as well. So, the defense played very stout, but, and the pass rush was pretty good, obviously. Joe Flacco had a really rough day out there. Hence why he's being benched for Dylan Gabriel, rookie out of Oregon. But at the same time, I'm glad I called the Hutchinson 2 sacks. I had a really good feeling on that, just based off of, it seems like he's starting to catch stride again. But, yeah, so this lock of the game, we're going to go back to an anytime touchdown bet. And against this Bengals defense, anybody can score in theory, on paper, right? Anybody can score. This Lions offense is very talented. I'm going to show love to somebody who hasn't gotten a touchdown yet. Because even though, and I was talking to my buddy, once again, on the phone, because we were talking about fantasy a lot, he's really disappointed in the performance fantasy-wise of this player. I have not been very disappointed because this team has a lot of mouths to feed, and this specific player makes a lot of clutch conversion catches on 3rd and 4th down. I think our sister's favorite, Sam Laporta, almost said Laporta Potty.
That might be because of the sound effects we just heard.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So thankfully he was over there.
I hope the mic didn't pick that up. It wasn't me.
Yes. I definitely heard it through the headset. But I do think Sam Laporta gets an anytime touchdown. First touchdown of the season for Sam Laporta. Yeah, obviously, 2 years ago, up until Brock Bowers, I believe arguably the best rookie tight end season in NFL history prior to Brock Bowers really busting out for a really bad Raiders team last year. But yeah, he's made some really clutch catches. He is a very talented player. He does his work. He can be flashy. We saw that arguably the catch of the season in that divisional round loss against the Commanders, which, once again, would have been talked about a lot more if the Lions have won that game. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I like Sam Laporta in this game. Once again, the Bengals are going to be they're going to have their work cut out trying to guard Jameson over the top, St. Brown cutting up anybody. Worrying about the running game. And once again, I always bring the moniker up or the joke with Brock Wright. Brock who?
Brock Wright.
Yep. We got to work on that, guys. But, it's when Brock Wright's your 5th option on offense, what do? You win the football game. Yeah. Sam Laporta is a better player than Brock Wright. He has a much higher ceiling. However, I do think he's going to get his love in the end zone. This is on paper, the perfect game to show some love to some guys. Get Demo back in the end zone, maybe get Tesla some more reps out there, maybe get Khalifa receiving touchdown for his first of the season receiving touchdown anyway. So
hey, what if we get Jackson Meeks? I saw his.
I would
name
love that. I would love. Hey man, he was arguably the best receiver in all of the preseason. So give him some love. Maybe get JG another receiving touchdown for fun. Who knows? But yeah, so that is my lock of the game this week. Sam Laporta anytime touchdown
and X Factor. He's got an extra week to grow that stash.
It's true. That's true. You may, by the way, not to spoil my costume for the watch party, I may be shaving the fuzz down here. We'll see. Yeah? Not only for a potential event I have going on Friday, but also potentially for the costume. So
sweet.
But yeah, so lock of the game, Sam Laporta touchdown.
Lock it up.
Click.
Something's gonna ride.
All right, so talked a little bit about the matchups we want to see, talked about some of the storylines. However, now we're going to get into our score predictions. Lyle, I think you have our score predictions written down.
Yeah, so last week I think we all did pretty well. Josh, you were predicting a 50-burger in the game. Didn't quite get there, but 50-21. I had a 33-17, pretty respectable with the 34-10 finish there. Jacob, you nailed the 10 points for the Browns there.
Yep.
You had the Lions with 26 points, so you didn't give them enough respect on that point. But we all had the Lions winning. Of course, they did win, and they won going away, much like these scores would indicate there. So
I would say I'm probably the
weekend.
winner if you're looking at a total difference of, 8 points to your that's 1, so 8. No, tie.
Yep,
We
8
tied.
points. Yep.
Look at that. Hey, look at us, Lyle.
Up top.
Haha, Josh.
I know. Wait till I get this one.
Yeah,
All right.
All right. So, man, I always forget who I start with. So I'm just going to start with Josh. Josh, what do you think the score of this game is going to be? Once again, 4:25 p.m. this Sunday, October 5th, in Cincinnati. Detroit Lions at the Bengals.
Okay.
What's going to be the score?
Based off of the tweet that Calvin sent us, that the NFL is going to have to, demonstrate their new rule on the mercy.
Yeah.
As much as I would like to see the 70-piece, which is, apparently a new 50-burger, I think we will see a 50-burger.
Ooh.
Going back to the 50-burger.
Yeah, because I want to try
You
one.
really want
I
that
really
one,
want to try one. I want Jake to bring me a 50-burger.
Yeah.
To 10.
Even I can afford that.
Yep. A 50-burger for the Lions, a 10 for the Bengals.
50-10?
Yep.
Perfect. All right. I'm going to go pretty similar to what I saw in the Browns game. I think that the Bengals are going to have a few more points in this game. I do expect, like I said, a couple of touchdowns, maybe even a garbage time touchdown there. But the Lions to be comfortably ahead. I'm going to go Lions 37 and Bengals 20.
Ooh. God. Darn you, Lyle. Darn you. So Lyle and I's score predictions are going to be pretty similar. I like Detroit Lions 33 and Bengals 20. I do like the 2 touchdowns, and I do think a couple field goals because the Bengals are going to move the ball at times against the Lions, but I do think they're going to stall out. Once again, if we look at the trend of how the Lions have been playing defense, they're going to let up a touchdown. There's already 7 points right there, assuming they make the PAT. But all they need is one more touchdown and a couple field goals and some stalled drives that can't get too far, and they reach that 20-point mark. I do think the Lions will, once again, I think they're going to run the ball, but obviously when they get to in the red zone, they smell blood in the water and they're going to score. They like to celebrate, although we did not see any celebrations out of Amon-Ra St. Brown.
He's running out of them. That's why.
I don't know about that. I feel like he maybe got a talking to after that. After that,
that could
that
be.
comment he made against the Ravens game.
The number of times that we had, or that we got to sing, not had to sing.
Yeah.
The Gridiron Heroes. It's the same thing. At some point, you just Barry Sanders. What's his favorite saying? Act like you've been there before.
Yeah. It's funny. I think that because I haven't watched the St. Brown Brothers episode.
I haven't fully yet.
They maybe address it. Maybe.
Well, early on, he actually threw it out to the fans. Send me some ideas. Mm-hmm. So he knew that this was going to be a season where he was going to need ideas.
Yeah. It's already has he had 6 touchdowns?
6, yeah.
6 touchdowns in the season is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. So
6/10 of the way to the touchdowns he scored last year. And that's 4 games in. So let's just go down the line again for score predictions for this game. Josh, what do we got?
50-burger 10.
Wow.
37 Lions, Bengals 20.
And I got 33-20 Detroit Lions. So full sweep of the Lions predictions right here. Once again.
No trap game.
No trap game, hopefully.
And we are not ESPN.
We are not ESPN. We are not the NFL Network, although I think Lyle and I think both your scores are actually on their predictions now that I think about it. I was going to pull it up, and then I decided not to. But, so once again, we are going to all say that the Lions win this week. On paper, they should, but the Bengals have a lot of talent in many different parts of their team. Can they get it together? A funny matchup I was going to bring up is Jamar Chase versus Zach Taylor. Can they come together to help the Bengals win a football game? However, we are going to see this Sunday what will happen.
And if the Tigers take care of business tomorrow, we now are Michigan Valley instead of Ohio Valley.
He's got tricks inside his head, never seen them done before. He's bouncing on his toes right now.
And while Jake is trying to do the trick shot of the game, we are to Steve's crazy play of the game. Take it away, Steve.
All right.
Dad.
I don't have a lot to say this time because I really didn't see the game. I saw some of the replays in that, and so here's a shout out to the guys that intercepted the ball. They must have found the stickum. And
Once again, banned since the 80s, but yeah.
Shout out to Uncle Ron for taking care of Dad.
Yeah, shout out Uncle Ron.
Showing some hospitality to him.
Yeah, some Southern hospitality.
Keeping him his numbers low.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely.
Anyways, so keep it up, increase game by game. So don't be satisfied with just 2 interceptions. Let's just increase it.
And I really only gave Kirby a half interception for that one because that was totally on Flacco for throwing a moon ball.
I mean, that to me almost looked like there was either a miscommunication because he thought the guy was going to try and run or break a deep route, or that was the worst throwaway I've ever seen.
Well, I think that's what it was.
He held on to it. That's an interception. If they don't hold on to it, it's not an interception. So,
well, we're living in a world too where we're looking at that interception and, like I said, half an interception, and we only deserve 3 points off of that.
Not in my book.
I know.
Interception. He held on to the ball, plain and simply. Could have tripped over his feet or something. So, hats off to the guys there. Use whatever stickum you can.
You can't.
Well, there's the difference. They held on to 2 and they lost 2 the week before. So you explained it to me. And
they listened to you is what happened. All right.
And then hats off to Khalif Raymond. Mr. Khalif, we expect at least one of those every game. So
I always tell him, I'm always yelling at him, I got you for 2 this game.
Yeah. So there's that. I had another hats off to something.
Rory?
Oh, maybe St. Brown. Thank God he's on our team.
Yeah.
Man, is he good.
All-pro. 2-time All-Pro.
I think we all need to learn German.
Oh, I have a question for you.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Interview.
Yeah.
9.
What did they do good or bad according to the way you think I think? Any ideas there?
Oh, they ran the ball, even though Jahmyr Gibbs got like 90 total yards.
Well, Demo.
Okay.
Oh, is it that they let up a touchdown on their first drive playing defense?
Not much to Laporta.
Is that they didn't score a touchdown on their first drive when they started with the ball, Dad? Is that it?
Well, maybe.
Man.
I haven't watched it, so I didn't see what it was. But anyways, one more question.
That was me being snarky.
On my phone, I would see throw incomplete Jameson Williams. Now, was that Jameson Williams or was that Jared Goff?
I think there's a little column A and a little column B there. A little.
Yeah. But shout out to JG for taking responsibility for it.
Yeah.
I mean, there were 2 legit drops. One of them, we talked about these earlier. One of them I think definitely should have been caught. The other one was an adjustment by J-Mo where he had to turn and stuff like that. So that's a difficult catch, but still hit him in the hands, should have caught it. The other ones I think were the miscues.
Well, St. Brown sets the standard, and J-Mo better live up to it.
But
plain and simple.
In St. Brown, though, he's also taking, slant routes. He's taking the shorter passes. J-Mo, they're home run balls almost all the time. He's as much as he's a great player, he's not Calvin Johnson, who basically has a 30-foot radius around his body.
Who was St. Brown and J-Mo combined with being almost as tall as Hutchinson. So,
I still
there's an anomaly.
My favorite thing was the guy that sat by us, I don't know, like 4 years into our season tickets.
Yeah.
Before the snap. Throw it to Calvin. He's open. before the play even started. So.
Yeah.
So James will get with the program. If you want to make us help make us elite team, you got to pick it up.
It's one game.
One game. We're talking about one game. We're not talking about five.
We're talking about
here.
practice, man. We're talking about
Practice.
the game. Practice. We ain't talking about the game.
Playoffs.
We're talking about practice, man.
You have to
AI.
you have to
Detroit
disagree.
Piston legend.
Yeah, that's right.
The 1 year he
You
played.
have to disagree with everything I say and make me look like an idiot. I really appreciate
You're not. We're
that.
just having fun. We're having fun. We love you, Dad.
These are the moments that we're gonna look back in 10, 20 years and say, hey.
Yeah, he's gonna watch
Hey,
this
he
episode
was
10 years from now. He's gonna be like,
No,
wow, I'm
we-
really sick of their shit.
He was
we
an
got
idiot.
the banter with him.
He was
Yeah.
an idiot. Why did they pull him along?
Yeah.
Anyways,
Never once said that, Dad.
anyways,
prove
the
it.
the last thing I said last time, Tesla would get 2 scoring touchdowns, and I'm saying for the game coming ahead, Tesla 2 touchdowns, play of the game.
Let's go. Steve's crazy to play a game, running it back. Isaac Tesla right there.
Drives a Ford.
Did you know that he drove a Ford?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I wish I would have signed up and got one of those shirts.
Yeah, Dad, by the way, this is that shirt we got for signing up for the thing. So they had the little campaign going. So next time you go to Ford.
That line was huge, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. I know. We got in pretty quick.
your mom got me a T-shirt.
Yeah.
It was
No free advertisement. other than
801
the Ford.
Sam or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Good.
So I got a T-shirt out of the deal.
Yeah, there you go. So you got a freebie.
Yeah.
And you got a pin? You got a pin too?
I got a pin and I got my program, so I'm
Yep.
happy camper.
Featuring St. Brown.
St. Brown. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of
That's
which,
good.
Dad, I do have an autograph idea for you later on after the show's over. But so, to recap, because now we're getting a little off track, our dad, Steve, running it back, Isaac Tesla with 2 touchdowns against one of the worst defenses in the NFL going into week 5. And that was Steve, my dad, Steve, Josh and my dad, Steve, crazy play of the game.
Necessary play of the game because they need to factor him in, so we're a larger weapon as we go forward.
A lot of mouths to feed. Isaac Tesla, one of them. All right, so that was episode 5 going into week 5 of the 2025 NFL season of Outside the Den, Inside the Barn. I'm Jake. Here's cousin Lyle at the casino. There's my dad saying Isaac Tesla with another 2 tutties. Hopefully his second and third touchdowns of the season, as well as my brother Josh right down there on the the machine here.
The ones and twos.
The 1s and 2s. Thank you. I cannot talk right now. It's been a long day at the office. But yeah, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Once again, there is a giveaway every 25 subscribers, so please like the video, comment below your favorite Lions memory or why you are a Lions fan, and we'll get you something fun. But yeah, so any final thoughts, anybody? Lyle, before you sign us out?
Hey, just go Lions. Go down to Cincinnati, do your business, come back with a win.
One Pride, happy early Halloween. We'll see you next week. Hopefully celebrating another Lions victory. Josh, play a little tune for me.
Okay.
Boop.
Podcast over.
Podcast over. Signing off tonight. Wyatt Intimation. Everything's alright. Oh, yeah, school. Decided right tonight. Lions Nation, everything's alright.